And we'll now get you the latest updates from Tianjin, where the SCO leaders have arrived at the meeting venue. And in a short while from now, Prime Minister Modi will be addressing the SCO summit. He will be addressing the SCO leaders meeting just shortly. And these are the visuals from Tianjin, where the leaders have arrived for the meeting. The SCO meeting will be beginning shortly, and Prime Minister Modi's plenary address is also scheduled. He will be addressing the leaders at the SCO meet. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the plenary session of the 25th Shanghai Cooperation Organization Heads of State Council Summit in Tianjin, where the SCO leaders have already arrived at the meeting venue. And in just a short while from now, Prime Minister Modi will be addressing the SCO leaders, after which the bilateral between India and Russia will be taking place. All eyes now are on the bilateral between India and Russia. Yesterday, it was India and China's bilateral, and today, now it's time for the much anticipated Modi and Putin meeting after the SCO summit. So the SCO summit will be starting shortly, and Prime Minister Modi will be addressing the SCO leaders in the meeting. So the SCO leaders have arrived at the meeting venue in Tianjin, where the summit will be starting shortly. And Prime Minister Modi's plenary session will also be there. He will be addressing the plenary session of the 25th Shanghai Cooperation Organization Heads of State Council Summit shortly. The leaders have arrived, and Prime Minister Modi will be addressing the SCO leaders meeting in just a while from now. And after the SCO summit, it will be time for the bilateral between India and Russia. Prime Minister Modi will be meeting Russian President Putin. Now, remember, this meeting comes at a very crucial juncture given the geopolitical tensions, the US tariffs on India, the 50% tariffs, and also Russian President met US President Donald Trump weeks ago. And there's immense pressure on Russia also to stop the war with Ukraine. So a lot of geopolitical issues are there, and today all eyes remain on this meeting between India and Russia. Defense, trade ties are expected to be the key issues that will be discussed in this meeting. And currently, the SCO leaders have arrived at the meeting venue in Tianjin, where Prime Minister Modi will address the plenary session of the SCO Heads of State Council Summit in just a while from now. So that's the latest that's coming in from Tianjin. The SCO leaders have arrived at the meeting venue, and the meeting will be beginning shortly. Prime Minister Modi will address the plenary session of the summit, where the leaders have arrived. The meeting will be beginning shortly. Prime Minister Modi is all set to address the SCO leaders meet. And after the SCO meeting ends, Prime Minister Modi will be holding bilateral talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, remember, yesterday, Prime Minister Modi held bilateral talks with Xi Jinping, and there were many of the key issues that were discussed, be it the border issue. In fact, there was big anti-terrorism pitch also by India. Prime Minister Modi raised the issue of fighting terrorism, and China has also reaffirmed support on that. In fact, the direct flights between India and China will also be resuming, and soon. In fact, the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra was also discussed in the meeting, and these are the visuals from the meeting venue. The leaders have started arriving from the meeting. That's Russian President Vladimir Putin arriving at the meeting venue. Gaurav, my colleague, is with us from Tianjin, getting us all the latest updates on the SCO meeting. Gaurav, the leaders have started arriving for the meeting. Prime Minister Modi is also set to address the plenary session. Give us the latest updates.
So this is a very big day as far as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit is concerned. It's the 25th year, and President Xi Jinping is very keen that this is a message or a signal that goes out from Tianjin, goes across the world, that this is a region This is a grouping of developing countries that are coming together, the global south that's coming together, that must have a bigger role to play in global decision making. And in all of that, there is an agenda that they're working out on. It has various aspects of that agenda, but the attempt is West's domination on economy, on trade, on United Nations, on sanctions. That Western domination needs to end, and there has to be a far more democratic way of decision making that benefits the global South countries. The G7 countries cannot just make rules for the rest of the world to follow. When you speak to analysts in China, they tell you this is the entire effort of this grouping to end the dominance of one kind of narrative and have far more democratic voices form an opinion and carry this forward. But when you counter question them and ask them, but does this indicate that the entire conversation should mean that if not the West, it's China that dominates? And they say no. It's not just China. There's Russia, there's India, there are other countries, and